All right, so we're just gonna do a quick unboxing of this. I already got the cellophane off, haven't taken anything else off further than this. You know, one of the things that I think is really cool about this model, as with the Darth Vader model, is the original artwork that they have on the box. Isn't that just too cool? I love that original artwork. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what's inside the box. I know there's lots and lots of parts to this one. Looks like here you got let's see. Looks like the gun turret right here and a bunch of little miscellaneous panels, some landing gear parts. Looks like part of the cockpit right here. And let's see. Got the sidewalls. These are the updated sidewalls. Now the original release of this ship, these sidewalls were much taller. So it made the ship look out of proportion from the original movie model. And round two has updated these where they're much thinner and much more detailed. So I cannot wait to put this together. So back in 1978, the Christmas 1978, I actually got the Kenner Millennium Falcon. I had a lot of fun with that, but mine never did really stay together very well. I remember that the little arms that held the door, the cargo door up and down, they would always come off. And you know, I always kind of wished that I would have a Millennium Falcon that looked more to proportion, because even back then, I mean, I knew that it wasn't to proportion. It didn't look exactly like the one on the screen, and I was still 7 or 8 years old, but I still appreciated it. I still had a lot of fun with that thing. But I'm gonna have a lot of fun putting this together and displaying it. So as we said, here's the updated radar dish, the updated side panels, and then we come to the main fuselage right here. Man, and this thing is huge. It's about the same size as what the Kenner Millennium Falcon was that I had. So what I'm going to do on this, I know I'm going to run some blue LEDs around the back for the engines, and I'm probably going to run the lights, a couple of 3mm warm white lights up front for the spotlights, which you didn't ever see those in A New Hope, but you did see them in Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back. And those will be kind of cool to put in. And I may add a few other little additional lights here and there, but I'm not for sure yet. I know for sure that I'm going to do the headlights, and I'm going to do the engine lights, blue engine lights back here. But there's that. We got the clear parts here. The engine covers here. Got the instruction manual and decal sheet. These are some slide decals. I may use some of these, but I think I might try my hand in doing some painting on my own. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of dry brushing on this. I don't have an airbrush. I've never used an airbrush before, so everything that I'm going to be doing on this spaceship as far as painting is going to be all done by hand. And then we got the decorator guide right here. Whoa! Got the decorator guide here, which I'll be following. And I'm also going to look at some screenshots and try to get this thing done as much as I can. I'm going to use some charcoal to do the engines back here and to do some soot work and stuff like that, but we'll see how it all turns out. So anyway, we will be back in a little bit and we'll see where we got. All right, guys, just a quick update of where I'm at on the Millennium Falcon. So so far I've got these hull parts placed and glued in on the mandibles. These hull parts right here, they're all nicely glued in. Got the boxes for the landing gear installed. The locator pins are installed. Here's the landing gear. Now, I'm going to be setting this Millennium Falcon up with the landing gear, not in the flight mode. I've got the landing gear put together. These have a lot of different little parts that you have to glue together, but those are all ready to go. Now I will say, if you're wanting to build this model and you've never done it before, this thing has a ton of flashing on it. You know, I've saw in other videos like this right here. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to trim all this stuff off. And up here around the cockpit area, you can see that. I understand that it's an older model, and you know, from what I understand, the more modern models are not like that. But if you look here at the gun, let me try to get both of them in my hand here. That's what I'm working with right there. There's a little bit better video or picture right there. You can see all that flash around the guns. I'm gonna have to trim all that up, and I already got these pieces here trimmed up. I'm working right now on getting the gun turret put together. And here's the other part of that. I've got it trimmed up now. But yeah, this thing has tons of flash on it. It's crazy how much flash this has on it. I guess that model over there spoiled me. If you can see that, that's the 1/32nd scale TIE fighter that came out by AMT/Round 2 back in 2023. That thing was a blast to put together. So easy, and it's just a beautiful model kit. I don't remember any flash on that at all whenever I was putting it together. Very little trimming. I mean, the only thing you had to do is clip the parts off of the sprues or the trees or whatever you want to call it, and you know, there's a very, very minimal cleanup. But on this thing, this is going to be a challenge, I have to admit. This is, you know, the third model that I've been working on. I've been working on my Darth Vader TIE fighter, and I'm kind of at a standstill on this, or on that one, so I decided to start on this. But if you look, see around the cockpit right there, all that flash that's going to have to be trimmed up. These parts right here that's going to have to be cut off and trimmed. But I guess for a new modeler and learning how to do this, it's kind of a good thing, because I'm going to learn how to, you know, trim stuff really well. But I don't know if all models are like this or not, or, you know, the more modern models. But this one right here, I mean, I don't know if they could have cleaned up the mold to where this stuff would have came out better, but these parts right here are really small, and it's going to be a challenge to try to get those trimmed up to where they're going to look really nice. I'll be able to do it. I actually have a scalpel right here that I'm using, and this works way better than any X-Acto knife I've ever used. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I just thought I'd do a quick update, and we will see here in a bit and see where we're at. All right, guys, just show you where I'm at right now. In my last little clip, I showed you all the flashing that was on the turret parts, and got them all trimmed up, and they actually turned out really nice. It took a very delicate hand to get some of these parts, especially down here in these grooves, because I mean, they were full of flash. And got this piece right here all nicely trimmed up and ready to go. This one right here. So, you know, just wanted to let you know that, you know, even though that this kit has a lot of flash and stuff like that, if you take your time and be patient and very careful, and make sure that you have a very sharp X-Acto knife or whatever it is that you're using to trim these parts, they can turn out to be looking pretty nice. So just wanted to give you a little update right there, and we'll see where we get on the next video. All right, guys, here we are back with the Millennium Falcon build. I was going to show you where I've got so far. So I've got pretty much everything prepped and ready to start putting together. What I'm going to be doing for the engines in the back is I've got some LED strip right here that I'm going to be adding across the back to illuminate the engines in the back. And I got some 0.75 diameter fiber optic that I'm going to be running a few little red lights here and there around the sides of the Millennium Falcon. I've got the gunners seats painted and ready to go in. I wasn't so concerned about getting this painted because you're not going to see that. That's going to be glued in anyway. The landing gear is finished. Here is my Han Solo and Chewbacca figures right here. Didn't do too bad of a job for a beginner, and these things are so tiny. But these are all painted, and I sprayed some clear matte over those to protect the finish. Everything is pretty much ready to go on this. Like I said, the only thing that I'm going to do before I start closing this up is to install the lighting. That's going to be a chore. That's going to be interesting to see how that ends up working out. Hopefully it works out really nice. And then of course we'll close the Millennium Falcon up and get it glued down and then start doing the paint on it. The ramp right here, I have some Tamiya dark gray spray. I'm going to be spraying that. What I plan on doing as far as the lighting goes is I'm going to drill a hole in the top of this and run a clear 3mm LED through that. And then on the sides right here, I've got the parts right over there in the box. I'm going to be drilling a couple of small holes down towards the bottom with a hand vise and running some of this fiber optic through to illuminate these little red marker lights. You can see them in The Empire Strikes Back. And I need to drill a couple of holes right here in the front right here. If you look on the inside of these parts right here, you can see, let me see if I can get it here. You can see right there, and right over here where you would drill the holes for the headlights. I probably should have drilled those before I put those together, but that's not going to be a problem. I can still get that done. Everything else is finished. I did do some puttying around some of these parts here because, you know, this is an old model and some of these, you know, these parts don't fit perfectly flush around here. I went ahead and puttied around those because if I have any light, I don't want any light shining through these to where you can see it coming up through, you know, the little engine ports or the mechanical bays here. I am going to light block the back here really nice to where we won't get any light bleed through the plastic. And I did watch one of the guys on YouTube that was building this, and he said, and I was wondering because I did kind of do a dry run. I put the top on top of this and see how it fit, and there's a huge gap. This post right here is too tall. So the guy that I was watching the video on said about 5mm, but I'm going to shave it down a little bit here and there until I get the whole back of the ship back there fit down right. What I think I'm going to do is trim it off this post right here and just get it trimmed down enough to where the top of the ship will fit flush all the way around on the hull of the ship. But that's where I'm at right now on this build. We'll be doing another update video here soon. I'm going to be working on some of this today. Other than that, everything went together really nice. Just like I've said in other videos, just a lot of flash on these parts. But nothing that's too horrible. I mean, you know, if you've got something really sharp, I use a scalpel. You can trim these parts up really easily if you're careful. I'm really proud of how these little figures right here turned out, though. Because it takes a really steady hand, and I think it turned out okay. I mean, you're not going to be able to see that a whole lot. I may add a light inside the cockpit as well, but I do want to add some lights onto this because, I mean, you know, that makes it look really cool. You know, it's the headlights, a couple of the little, you know, a few of the little red lights with some fiber optic on the sides, the LED strip for the engine in the back. And I'm not going to be powering this one with a 9-volt battery like I did the TIE Fighter over there. I'm actually going to run a 12-volt battery pack plugged into the wall on this, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to do a flight mode or landing mode. I'm probably just going to do the landing mode. And I kind of toyed around with possibly doing the bottom landing lights, because if you see in the Empire Strikes Back, there are some lights. There's one right here, here, and I believe a couple up here. I may do those as well. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see where we're at on the next little segment. Thanks. All right, guys, we're back, and we've got lights. I've got the headlights ran. I got a couple of these little red LEDs here ran. I don't know if you can see them or not. I got these don't hit your head kind of lights ran here, fiber optics. I've got my ramp light ran, and I've got the engine lights ran right here with strip. So that's where we got. I'm about ready to close this thing up now. Got the landing gear installed here. I don't have them shoved all the way down in the holes yet because I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but yeah. Oh, and we've got some more fiber optics right over here. I don't know if you can see them or not. Yeah, the camera can pick them up. There we go. The lighting was a lot easier than what I thought it would be. Took some time, but got everything ran. I have everything ran on a 9-volt battery. I may just go ahead and stick with that. I've got it down in here in this battery compartment. I may just add a little switch on there because I'm not gonna have it on all the time. I may just, turn it on if I have some company come over or something like that. But yeah, that's what we've got. I've got the little gunner chairs installed. You can see that there and right here. Here's the top. And we got the radar dish installed. We got the guns here. And as I said in the other video, here's my Chewbacca and Han Solo right here. Look pretty cool. So I've just got a few pieces to go. I just need to sandwich this thing together. Put on these caps right here. The cockpit, the engine cover right here, and these little pieces right here that goes on the sides over here. Got it all light blocked. I think we're pretty much good to go to get this thing to start buttoning up and glued down so I can start painting it. But that's where I've got so far, and we will see you here in a few minutes to see where we got. All right, everybody, moving right along. We've got the lighting done. The ship is all closed up and ready for paint. Added some shrink tubing to the LEDs to protect them from getting paint on them. So what we're going to be doing is spraying some black primer over it to do some more light blocking. And then we'll spray a light coat of gray over it. And then the first base coat that we will be doing is this Tamiya Insignia white, and then after that we will start the weathering process. So just a quick update now, and we will see you in a bit. All right, guys, we're back with an update. We got it all painted. Did a coat of some black primer for some light blocking, and then went over that with some it's called Glacier Gray Matte primer, and then sprayed over with that Tamiya white paint. Had a couple of issues whenever I was painting it, beginner issues. Got those straightened out, and it's looking beautiful right now, as you can see. Still have the glass to put in and the gunner stations on the top and the bottom. But now is going to be the fun part, which is the part that I love to do, which is weathering. I'll be doing some washes, some dry brushing, and probably use some charcoal for the back of the engine area for the black exhaust soot. But that's where we're at right now, And we will be back with you shortly for an update, and hopefully this will be finished. All right, guys, here for an update on the build. So I got all the panels painted. I hand painted these. I did not use the water slides because I like painting better, and I just think that they look better and they don't look kind of fakey. But got all the reds, the yellowish brown color panels like these, the dark gray, light gray, etc. Some of the water slides on here are inaccurate, and so I did not go completely off this sheet right here, which is, it's a nice sheet to go off of, but if you want accuracy, I would not suggest going completely off of these water slides here. But I think it turned out really good. Got the radar painted here. Got some of the engine bays or the mechanics bays kind of darkened in for some weathering. I don't know if these are engine inlets or outlets or what, but I got all those painted up. Still have my my light for my engine covered up for now because I'm going to be spraying another clear coat over this. I sprayed a clear coat on this to protect the base paint before I started painting the panels. But I'll spray another coat of it over after I get finished with everything. The next thing I'll be doing is some probably some dry brushing and probably a wash. But I think it turned out really nice, what I've got so far. There's one panel, I think it's on the back. Let me turn this over here. There's a water slide, and I couldn't tell by the picture exactly where it's supposed to go or how it's supposed to be cut out because it doesn't match the contour of this, and it's going to be number 68 right here. I looked every way possible for it to fit here, and it will not go. So I didn't know how to paint that, so I'm just going to leave it. There's a little bit of paint staining right there, but I'm not worried about that because once I do the weathering on that, that's going to be completely covered up. But here's the bottom here, all done. And I did get a little stripe right here on the front of the cockpit done. I hand painted that as well. They do have a water slide for that, but I did not use it. But there is a water slide that goes under the bottom of the cockpit that has some of the panel lining on it and another wide gray stripe on the bottom. I will use that because I don't trust myself to do the panel line, so I'm just going to rely on the water slide for that. Still have the windows. I painted those, but they're kind of like a weird off yellow. So I've got those soaking in some alcohol. I'm gonna completely strip those down and paint them more of the gray color of the ship. And those will go in last after I get done doing the clear coat on the ship. But that's where we're at right now. And like I said, the next step is going to be a wash and some dry brushing. And I have some charcoal blocks that I'm going to be using to do the soot on the back of the engines here to kind of give those more of a realistic look. I actually used that method on my Boba Fett helmet up there. That's an EFX Boba Fett PCR helmet. And whenever I got it, it looked like a toy, but that's another story for a different day. And anyway, I used the block charcoal on that to weather it up, and that's what I'm going to do with this. But yeah, I think it's turning out really, really nice. This model has taken a ton of time to get completed up to this point. If I was to tell you hours that I have in it, probably 40 at least. And that's, going at it pretty steadily. But you know, there's still some water slides that I'm going to use. There's some water slide for the body panel, or for the panel lines around these on each side. And there's some little bitty tiny decals that I'll be using, like these little marks right here. I'll look at the diagram and see where those go. And then this right here goes right up here somewhere. I'll be installing that as well. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying this build. I know this is a long video, but I'm kind of doing all this all at in increments. That way I can just have a complete one-time video. But stay tuned and we'll see where we're at next. All right, guys, here we are with the finished model. So I'm going to go over with you the biggest issue that I had with putting this together, and I'll just go over briefly everything that I did to it. So really the only issue that I had with putting this together, aside from all the excess plastic that I had to trim off, which is no big deal, was, okay, so the top and the bottom of the ship are bound together with locator pins and these posts that are throughout the inside of the hull. And for some reason, over on this one side, there is about a 1/4 of an inch gap, maybe even a little bit better than that, over on this one side, and this one side only, which I thought was a little strange. And I started thinking about it, and when this model came out in 1978 or 1979, the sidewalls here were a bit taller than what they are now. And that's one of the improvements that Round 2 did whenever they went in and revamped this model a year or two ago, is they made the sidewalls shorter to where it is more proportionate with the ship. And so they did a really good job of that. So it wasn't a big deal whenever I trimmed that post up down there. It brought it back, it brought it down to where it should be, and I didn't have any more issues with that. Some of the parts inside needed some putty, so there would be no light shining through, because I do have this lit, which I will show here in a little bit. I don't have it plugged in now. I'm going with the 9-volt battery. Originally, I was going to go with the 12-volt battery pack, but I'm just going to go with the 9-volt battery. I'm going to order an off and on switch that I can mount on the bottom of it, but right now it's just a deal where you just plug in the 9-volt battery and everything is on, and you have to unplug it to turn it off. But what I did is I put everything together, sprayed it down with some black primer on the inside for some light blocking, and then I did the outside also for some light blocking. And then I sprayed it with some Glacier Gray matte paint. It's Krylon over the top. And then I painted in the, all these are hand painted in. I didn't use any of the water slides. The sheet comes with water slides. I did not do the water slides. Painted all the panels in myself. And you can see down here on the bottom as well. Added some rust here and there. I didn't go for total 100% accuracy because I'm just a beginner at doing this. But I think it turned out pretty good. After I got done painting the panels, I went in and did a wash. Did some dry brushing on the inside of the mechanical bays here and on the bottom, of course. And then I added a little bit of the rust here and there. And then I had some a charcoal block, and that's how I did the, I guess you would say, the exhaust burns here in the back, which I think they turned out pretty nice. They're not quite as dark in person as what they look like on the video. But yeah, it was a really, really fun build. I don't know if you can see the inside of the cockpit or not. No. But the inside of the cockpit came with a round, clear piece of plastic, and it looked like the inside of a submarine. The way that they had it printed out, it or molded out. It looked horrible. But the kit does come with a water slide that looks like the interior of the Millennium Falcon, so that's what I went with. Unfortunately, you can't see that in this video here. But yeah, everything moves, everything works. I think it turned out really good for me. Of course, you know, I've seen guys on these YouTube videos that does a phenomenal job on here. But if you hang on 1 second, I'm gonna stop this video and I'm gonna put the battery in and I'm gonna show you what I did with the lights. All right, guys, here she is all lit up. So I'll just kind of go over quickly what I got here. So for the headlights, we've got two 3mm warm white LED lights. I've got one 3mm warm white LED light in here for the entrance ramp. I ran some some fiber optic over here. I've got a 3mm LED red bulb in there, and I joined some fiber optic cable together to that light, and that single light's powering these and 4 other lights on the ship, which I'll get around to. Get around the back here. I've got an LED strip inside, and whenever you're putting this together, especially if you're going to use something like that, you need to get something to diffuse the light back here, because if you don't, you're going to see all these little LED lights going across here, and it's just not going to look all that great. So what I used was some wax paper. Believe it or not, wax paper did the trick. It made it turn out, you know, looking really nice. The only thing that, you know, if I want to complain is I wish they would have made this blue strip back here one piece, because you can see just right here where they join together at. But other than that, that's just a small gripe. Then we turn around here and got a couple more of the little red LEDs coming through here, or a couple the fiber optics rather. And then I don't know whether or not this was in the movie or not, probably not, but I wanted to do it anyway because I thought it'd be cool. Was if you look down in there, you can see a couple of little red lights inside there too. But other than that, this was a great build, a lot of fun, you know, very time consuming, but it was well worth it for this being my second full model build in the past 40 years. I think I did a decent job. I mean, I could have done better. I mean, this is nothing compared to what some of these other guys can do on here. But I highly recommend this model. If it's something that you would like to do, I highly recommend it. I think you'd have a lot of fun building it. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope to have the Darth Vader TIE Fighter done soon, and I'll get that video up. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and we will see you next time.